Alright, we are going to look at how to create a Google form so that you could use that to assess what type of devices that your students have at home. So the first thing I'm going to do is I have to make sure that I have a Google account. So sign up for a Gmail account if you don't have one. So my school has Google Classroom. So I've got a couple. I have my my Goddard Classroom, which is actually attached to a Gmail account, and then I have my personal Gmail account. So I'm going to use my school login here. But what you do is you just go to forms.google.com once you have your Gmail account set. So Forms is a kind of a part of Google Docs, which allows you to create different surveys that your students can take or faculty can take. And so if you go here, there's a bunch of different types of templates that you can go through. I have 2 tabs up here because, again, my school's a Google school. So yours might just only have this general tab, or it might not say general at all. So there's all kinds of little forms that are already pre-made by somebody at Google. So what I do is I'm going to go to create a blank form. And we're going to name this form. If you just click on where it says Untitled Form, I'm going to call it Technology Survey. I'm not going to do a form description since it's pretty self-explanatory. Untitled question, you just type here, click on there, and you type in what you want the first question to be. So the first thing I want to know is what their name is. So I want their first name. I'm going to put it separately because this is all going to end up in a spreadsheet, and I might want to be able to sort by first name and last name. So I'm going to go over here to where short answer is, and I can get many different boxes, many different types of questions. So short answer is appropriate for first name, and then it'll just have them write what's there. I want that to be required. So down here in the bottom right of this box, it has this little required. If you click on it, it turns it purple. And that basically will put one of the red asterisks. If you've ever filled out something online, you can't go to the next page until you've answered everything that has a little asterisk on it, and that's what that does. Okay, so if you want to put a new question, a new next box, like in my case I want to know what their last name is, I'm going to hit this plus sign, and it generates a new box. The nice thing about using Google Forms is that you never have to save this. Everything is saved in your Google Drive, which is kind of cool. So now I'm going to do last name, and I want it to be short answer. So mine populates the short answer because I've used this a few times. If it doesn't, then just right click over here on this little down arrow and choose short answer. Right? And again, make sure to click it so that it's required. You can see on this first name one, it put the little red asterisk there, which indicates that this is required. Right? And then hit the plus sign again. I want to know what hour they're in. My school has 7 hours, so I want to know what hour they're in. And what I would like to do is make this so that it's multiple choice. So I'm going to go over here, make sure that multiple choice is selected. The difference between multiple choice and checkboxes is that you can have multiple solutions or multiple answers here on this checkbox. Multiple choice only allows you to have one correct answer. So in option 1, I'm going to put hour 1. Option 2, I'm going to put hour 2. Hour 3, it takes longer, but I want everybody to have a standard answer. Sometimes kids forget what hour they're in. You never know what kids are going to put. You can also click right here on add option. Do not click on add other, where it'll just add in the word other. So make sure to click on the add option part. So then it would be hour 4, hour 5, hour 6, and I have 7th hour plan, so I'm not worried about an hour 7. Okay, and I want to make sure that this required button is clicked, and then I'm going to hit the plus sign for a new question. So now what I want to know is basically what type of devices they have available outside of school. What type of device can, let's see, how about do you have available after school that has access to the internet? Alright, so what I want them to do is they can either, one, tell me, and I could put a paragraph form and have them tell me, but what I'm going to do is choose check boxes so that they can pick one or multiple options of these. So the first thing I want to do is just iPhone, or I'll put iPhone, Android, or other smartphone that can access Edpuzzle, YouTube, etc. And then the next one I want is tablet that has Wi-Fi or data. And the next one I want is computer that has access to the internet. And I'm going to put laptop because sometimes, I don't know, computer and laptop sometimes are different depending upon which kid you ask. So laptop that has access to the internet. And then add option. Some kids watch videos to their PlayStation or Xbox that has Wi-Fi or internet access. So I have a few kids that will watch the videos on their PlayStation because their PlayStation can hook into YouTube. And the last one, I'm going to click on this add other. So they're going to have to tell me what other thing that they have that would access the internet. And then last one I want is add option. I do not have access to the internet. Cannot type. Outside of school. That way I know exactly what is going on. Okay? And so they can click one of these, and if one of these doesn't fit whatever it is that they have, they'll type other and tell me what it is. I'm going to click required down here. And now my quiz has actually been taken. Or I'm sorry, my survey is actually created and ready to go. So the cool thing is that now, if I click on send, I could email it out if I wanted to. But what I'm going to do is go to where this kind of looking chain-like thing is. I also want mine to automatically collect my Google public names usernames because my kids, again, are in a Google school. So it'll give me their usernames. So then here, I'm going to click on this little chain link looking thing. And this gives me the URL that I can send to the kids so that they can access my form. I'm going to click on the shorter URL in case I have to write it on the board. It's a little bit easier than writing it the other way. Okay, Control C to copy, or you can right click copy, or you can just click copy. So 3 options you can do to be able to copy that form. And now your kids can access your survey, which is kind of cool. If you click up here in the right hand column on the left top corner, it'll turn into technology survey. So it'll say untitled form, and then you click up here and it turns into technology survey. So it's kind of cool. Now these little guys here is just so that you can change the color palette. So if you want it to look different, this is preview. So if you click on preview, you can actually take your own form. So I'm going to take my own form, and it tells me that my email address will be recorded because I chose for that to happen. If you don't have that up there, this is just because you didn't click that top box like I did, or you don't have that top box because your school might not be a Google school. So I'm going to put my information in. I'm going to click what hour I'm in. Okay, notice that on this hour I can only pick one answer. And then if I go down here, notice that I can pick multiple different answers. So I'm going to have a tablet, computer, laptop, that sort of thing. And then I'm going to click submit. I could send a copy of my responses to myself, but that's not really necessary. So I'm going to click submit. Okay, now you can have it where they can submit another response or that they can only do one. So I'm not worried about that right now because of this. Response isn't such a big deal if they did multiple responses. So now I'm going to go up here to where, back to my original tab, and now you see that we have one response available. That's because that's a response I just did myself. So I'm going to click on it to show you what this looks like. So we can see each response individually, or I can just see a summary of all the responses. Well, in this case, both of these will be the same because it's only one. Okay, so there's where the email is going to show up. First name, Diamond, last name, Gulick. Go down, you can see what hour they're in. So 100% of the people that took this are in hour 3. And then it shows me what type of device or whatever. So what I really want to look at is individuals. So I'm going to go on the individual tab, and it shows me what each individual student chose, which is kind of cool. All right, now this button here is where I would create a spreadsheet with this information. Okay, so it kind of looks like almost like a present with a ribbon on it. If you click on this, it'll create a new spreadsheet with all your responses in it, or you can select an existing spreadsheet. So I'm just going to create a new spreadsheet, click create, and this is my favorite part because everything is nice and organized in a spreadsheet. So no matter what order the kids do, or no matter what hour they're in, I can filter by hours and just see what kids, all I'm doing is scanning through here to see if I have the word no, don't have computer access. Okay, so the other nice thing about this is that it's somewhat anonymous, and the students are clicking in on their computer and they're not talking to each other like, what did you click? What do you have? That sort of thing. So the kids are more likely to be honest and not worry about what other kids are doing or saying. So, little intro to how to do a Google form and start your class off with that technology survey.